We're live now on Facebook, Mohamady. Hi, everyone. Welcome to ELT Studio number 17. And today's topic is how to pass CELTA. What is CELTA? For those who do not know what CELTA is an initial teacher training qualification for teaching English as a second or foreign language. It is provided by Cambridge Assessment English through Cambridge English Teaching Qualification Centers, and can be taken either full-time or part-time. CELTA was developed to be suitable both for those interested in teaching English as a foreign language, TEFL, and for teaching English to speakers of other languages, TESOL. CELTA is designed for candidates with little or no experience, no previous English language teaching experience. It's also taken by candidates with some teaching experience. Today we have Mohamady. He's a CELTA and Delta holder, a CELTA tutor, assessment coordinator, teacher trainer, and conference presenter. And he's going to go over three main questions. What basic requirements are there to pass the CELTA course, the main components, what the different grades are, and how to get the most out of the CELTA. Before he starts, I would like all of you to give us thumbs up and leave comments, mention your friends, share the video. So Mohamady, let's just wait for half a minute or something.
That's fine. Thanks, Saeed.
You're welcome. Yeah, so feel free to start at any time.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Saeed. I'm so happy to be with you today, and it's a great pleasure to be with our colleagues as well, to share some thoughts, my personal thoughts as well. And just in addition to what you mentioned about the CELTA, to me, it's not just a course. It's far beyond this, and even it is not just a certificate. It's really a special experience in which you're going to develop your skills, and it helps you to broaden your knowledge about the language and teaching in general. It will help you to acquire some new skills to make you more professional in your career. And again, it will help you also to be more competent in your workplace and the work market as well. Let me say that it could be a turning point in your career. And evidence for this, that 9 years ago in 2012, I was a teacher in a primary school. And when I did my CELTA, it was the first step on this long journey to become what I am now as a CELTA tutor. That's it. For the first part that you asked me to prepare about what are the basic requirements to pass the CELTA course, it's very easy because we have three main requirements. Number one, to teach 6 hours, and we call them teaching practices or TPs, and mostly they are a 45-minute lesson each. However, it differs from a center to another. Sometimes they have different types, different numbers of TPs and with different lengths as well. But all in all, it must be a total of 6 hours. The second requirement is to finish 4 written assignments. Number one is about learners, their needs, their problems, and how to tackle these problems and prepare some sort of action plans for them. The second is about language and analyzing the target language or language input that you're going to present in your lessons. And the third is about language skill, which is about how to design a receptive skill lesson by designing activities mostly about 3D. And the last one is my favorite, is a kind of a complete reflection on your own journey throughout the whole course, from the very beginning till the end, and even your professional development after the course itself.
True.
The third requirement is about 6 hours of observations, and mostly they are going to be for more professional teachers or experienced teachers. And it sometimes includes observing your course tutors themselves delivering sessions or delivering lessons, whether it is live lessons on face-to-face courses or online teaching as well. And this would be a good opportunity to find and to see in practice how it could be implemented by your tutors themselves. So as we can see here, we have three components or three main requirements: 6 hours teaching and 4 written assignments and 6 hours of observations.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second part.
What do they need to do in order to pass the TPs or to get a pass in the assignments? You know,
Excellent question.
They are the two main components. So some people get below or not to standard in the TPs. Some others got resubmissions or fail in some assignments. So some tips and tricks on how to pass and get to standard at least in the TPs.
It's all about criteria. Follow the criteria and you will pass. And the criteria are going to be shared with the trainees in the very beginning of the course. They have them as an appendix in the CELTA 5s, and usually in stage 2 progress online. And it is going to be an appendix also in CELTA 5 if it is a booklet, the booklet that they receive when it is face-to-face course. And everything is clear. But sometimes it's different from phase to another. I mean, you start with fewer criteria in the very beginning, and then you move to further span of them or a big portion of them later, and like this. For the assignments, it's also, again, the secret word is criteria. And we always give this kind of orientation session or induction session about what is needed from you to finish this certain assignment, and we clarify everything at the very beginning, and then you will receive your assignments, and you have a second chance after you receive the first, after you submit the first draft to be marked. And if you have some notes, we'll give you detailed feedback. You go through them, you modify the things that needs to be modified, and then you resubmit it. So it's easy. But again, it's all about criteria.
Yeah.
Cambridge criteria to pass CELTA. That's it.
Yeah, just follow the instructions, and the instructions will help you to meet the criteria. Then you can get a pass or 2 standard. Okay, so moving on to the second point, what are the different grades in the CELTA course? Of course, we're not talking about the TP's grades above standard or 2 standard or not 2 standard. We're talking about the grades of the whole course, and how to meet them.
This is an interesting question, and I'm always asked this question at the very beginning of the course by enthusiastic trainees. Tutor, how can I get a pass A grade at the end of the course?
Yeah.
And I usually refer them to Appendix 2, which is about CELTA performance descriptors. Before I share them with you now, I'll give you a simple rule to understand them more. The more, the higher. What do I mean with this? The more independence you show in the course, especially by the end of the course, the more effort you exert and you put in your lesson planning and the language analysis, the more effective lessons you deliver, applying good techniques that you learn throughout the different stages of the course, the more awareness you show regarding your learners, their needs, their problems, and adapting materials to meet this and fit their level, the more input you put, or the more reflection you share in your self-evaluation, the higher grade you will get by the end of the course.
Yeah.
So the descriptors are the same for the 3 grades: pass, pass B, and pass A. However, the only difference is about the degree, how much you're going to achieve this. To make it clear to you, let me share this with you.
Sure.
Well, that's it. This is what I mean with CELTA performance descriptors.
Mhm.
As you can see here, we have four main descriptors: the planning, teaching, awareness of learners, and reflection. And when you read them thoroughly, you'll find that they are almost the same, except for, as I mentioned, the degree. Let's say, for example, in the planning component or descriptor here for pass, the candidate is able or can effectively plan effectively with guidance by his tutors, and he can analyze the third language adequately in a satisfactory manner. Enough, which is okay. However, in pass pay, can you see the degree now? It's some guidance, means that he's going to start to show some independence in his own planning and performance. And this is what is needed from you.
Mm-hmm.
For pass A, it will be minimal guide. Again, for pass B, it will be the language, the analysis of the target language will be well produced or well prepared, which is much more than adequately. For the pass A, it's minimal guidance. Again, more independent candidate in his planning, and the language analysis will be, or the target language will be analyzed thoroughly. More details are going to be included. What will support this is a kind of academic background reading, which is again more effort that's going to be exerted to pick some more ideas, more details to be included in your language analysis to analyze the target language. And this would help you again with the delivery as well to have this kind of solid or professional clarification stage in your lesson. So again, they are the same, but are different in the degree.
Yeah.
For the teaching,
the more we can say, the more autonomous you are, the higher grade you get.
And this is what I mentioned, the more independence you show, the higher grade you get. And again, as I say, especially by the end of the course or in the second phase of the course.
Mm.
For teaching, again, it's about the cans can deliver or can generally deliver effective lessons, language and skill lessons. And this is with a degree of success. It might have this kind of weakness stages of lessons, but it's fine. All in all, it's acceptable. Why in pass B and pass A, you're going to find that the candidate can deliver effective language and skill lessons successfully, and it's the same as well with pass A. So there's no big difference here.
Mm.
When we move to the awareness of learners, here we have something very interesting here. And awareness of learners here, it's an interesting area or descriptor that we have to keep attention to, because not every trainee is going to be aware of this. Showing awareness of the learner's needs, problems, responding to their questions, correcting their mistakes, adapting the materials and tasks to fit their level and to help them with their learning experience is an advanced skill. And this can differentiate very well amongst all kinds of trainees. So for a pass candidate, some awareness is fine, while as you can see, it will be good awareness, which is more. And for pass A candidate, it's going to be very good awareness of the learners. Yeah. And consistently tries to reflect on this or respond to this.
Because Mohammed, you know, some teachers just follow the plan and teach the plan. They do not care about the emergent needs of the learners inside the classroom, and they do not adapt or adjust during the lesson. They just want to finish the lesson and just go by the plan, whatever the results or whatever the needs the students have. This is a big problem.
We are human, and we are dealing with the humans as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to make these kinds of tweaks and modifications on your lesson plan on the spot, responding to the situation and what happens. Restrictions of time, technical problems, different needs of learners, different abilities. Sometimes you plan something and you find that it's not appropriate for the learners that you have, and you need to modify them on the spot. This is what differentiates between a good teacher and more professional teacher.
Yeah, of course.
CELTA will help you with this, because we're going to show some examples later. And let's see. Reflection. I like this part. It's the spirit of the CELTA. To me, I mean, sometimes when we have this kind of, after each TP, after each teach practice, every trainee should reflect on his own performance, spotting his strengths and weaknesses. And this is a very good skill that I'm going to talk about with the last part or the last item of our life today. For a past candidate, he is aware of some of his key strengths and weaknesses as well, and he tries to work or to keep them in mind while planning the following TPs to show progress. While a past P, he is aware, can reflect on key strengths and weaknesses and take care of something here generally as well, like the other one. However, for the past A, its key strengths, weaknesses, consistently. As you can see here, he's more aware of his performance. He can spot all his weaknesses. He knows exactly which areas that he is strong in, and can make use of these kind of weaknesses to show much more progress with each TP. Yeah. So again, they are the same. However, the degree of each category is different. All in all, when you show your awareness and your abilities in planning and teaching in a satisfactory manner, you are completely a solid pass candidate. If you're going to have this kind of good, which is more than satisfactory, so you are for a pass P grade, and if you have this kind of excellent understanding of English language teaching and learning processes and techniques, so this will be a pass A.
Mohammadi, let me say something here before you move on to the overall comment. Let's say that planning is before teaching, before the lesson. Teaching and awareness of learners can be before. Teaching is during teaching. Awareness can be like you can think of the problems you're going to come across during the lesson. So this can be in the planning, can be in the teaching as well. The reflection is after the lesson and before you sit with the tutor for the feedback. And I always tell the people who ask me about the CELTA and it comes to talk about the reflection, I say reflection is all about being honest and aware, about honesty and awareness. Because if you can spot some weaknesses, but you didn't wish to put them in the reflection form or the self-evaluation form, this will be a big problem. The tutor needs to know that you are aware of the weaknesses. If you neglect the weaknesses and you just put the key strengths, then the tutor will feel like you do not know the weaknesses. So they will fail the lesson.
That's right. Let me share with you a secret.
Okay.
Sometimes when you have this kind of trainee, that we can determine whether he is pass A, B, or pass A. We usually look at his own self-reflection, which is going to determine, again, as I can see, the importance of self-reflection. Sometimes it decides which grade you are going to have by the end of the course. So this is why I say the more reflection you include in your self-evaluation, the higher grade properly you're going to get.
Even if you're spotting the weaknesses, don't worry, because you know them. Knowing is the first step before doing. So you know them, next time you will fix them, you will do them. So don't worry, even if you spot your weaknesses, this will give an indication to the tutor that you are a person who can reflect well on his or her own teaching.
And this is why I included this in the last item about how to get the most benefit from the CELTA course. One of the 5 words that I'm going to share with our colleagues here is reflection. So before we move on to the last part, as I mentioned, we have the 4th grade, which is fail. And it's very obvious here that if the candidate's performance doesn't match all the past descriptors, I mean the first column in red, so it's a fail grade. And also some CELTA assessment criteria are not achieved and or requirements for written assignments or written work are not met, which is reasonable, of course. And this is why the trainees or candidates, CELTA candidates, are really carefully chosen for the courses, because we must have this kind of at least B2 level in order to be able to provide this accurate written work, then go through the tasks, written tasks that are supposed to be finishing the course successfully.
Mohammadi, a critical question. Have you ever failed any candidate?
During the whole course?
No, I mean during the past courses you've delivered.
Well, in TPs, yes.
Yeah, the whole course, no.
The whole course, no. No, the whole course, no. But it could be. And this is something that when you have this kind of someone who doesn't want to learn,
yes,
doesn't show progress, frequently absent, and is there just for the certificate, is not just to develop his skills. Now,
and they will not get the certificate, they will not get knowledge.
He will never get it. He will get nothing. However, if you are there to learn, we will support you to learn, and you will get what you want and more, which is the real or the core benefit of the course: knowledge, experience, and power to be a professional teacher.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to share this in the comments after the live. I'm going to share a screenshot of this with our colleagues in one of the comments below the live recording as well. So don't worry about this.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on to the third question, which is how to get the most out of the CELTA. Tips before and during the course.
Well, before the course, I always recommend to go to empower your background or academic background reading. Reading some good resources like How to Teach English by Harmer, Learning Teaching by Scrivener, Learner English by Swan Smith, also Concept Questions and Timelines by Graham Workman. The CELTA course trainee book, which includes, it's a little bit forgotten, but it includes some good exercises for teachers to train and practice. The Practice of English Language Teaching by Harmer as well. And by the way, I included all of them in a link, and I'm going to share it as well after the live in one of the comments.
We can put it like above the video on Facebook.
Okay, let me share it now while we're talking.
All right. Where are you going to share it? Here in the chat box or in the comments on Facebook?
You will find it now. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm going to update the video, guys, and I'm going to put the link. Yeah, so that
and as well here on your page, Saeed, here in the comments.
All right.
And for the CELTA Descriptors performance, let me share it as well.
I already took a screenshot and I can put it in the comments. Yeah. So no problem. We can do this after the live video.
Perfect. That's fine.
Yeah. So the third question is how to get the most out of the CELTA. Tips before and after and during. Okay.
During.
If you would like to give some tips after the course for professional development, yes, of course you can. So before, do some comprehensive reading.
Yes.
And you mentioned some books.
Yes, it's very important. And it will be a good preparation because the kind of background that you're going to make before the course will help you a lot with the delivery of your lessons and the written assignments as well, because there's a main criterion called including an academic reference or support your assignments with trustful or a good reference to support your background reading as well. In each assignment, at least one. So these resource references will help you a lot with this.
Yeah, Mohammed, some centers ask for 2 references in each assignment.
I say at least one.
Yeah. So there are some variations, yeah.
Of course. I used to include maybe 4 or 5 in my CELTA lessons, my CELTA assignments, yes. And for Delta, about 15, 13, something like this.
Yeah. In the Delta, yes, 5 or 6 at least in each assignment.
Okay, let's keep it for CELTA now.
Yeah. So so during the course.
During the course, 5 words: diary, Downs.
Again? Come again?
Downs.
Downs?
Disappointing moments. Failure.
Okay, okay, yeah. Ups and downs, okay.
Yes, downs. Reflection. Colleagues. Tutors.
Fine. Five
Well,
keywords.
5
Can you
keywords,
clarify?
yes. Number 1, diary. You're going to be exposed to a huge amount of information via different resources. The online units on Cambridge Moodle, or the live sessions and the input sessions with your tutors, the observations that you're going to observe of experienced teachers, observing your colleagues, many comments, huge amount of information. I also recommend to keep a kind of diary, a notebook, or a Word file, and with a date, record everything that attracts your attention. Take care of this. When I say anything attracts your attention, this means that it's something new that you haven't known. So it's new to you, it will add to your knowledge. It's something very good that you liked most and you want to apply it yourself, so you're going to keep a record of. Something that was severely bad or not appropriate, and you want to keep a note of as well, in order to avoid in your lessons, or in order to anticipate how to overcome this in your own lessons. So as you can see, I say it will anything that attracts your attention. Throughout different stages of the course, every day, I used to do this by date, day by day. Anything that I feel, the reaction of my students, the comments of my tutors, my colleagues, what went well and I loved most about one of my lessons or my colleagues' lesson, because these points that attracts my attention are something new to me or can add to my experience. And with the huge amount that you're going to have every time, you're going to lose a lot unless you're going to record this, so you can revisit again. This will be a very important point that you can start with. Keeping a diary, recording everything that attracts your attention throughout the different stages of the course.
I love this.
Number 2, downs.
Ups and downs.
Ups, yes, ups and downs. But I am focusing now on downs, because a lot of trainees panic when they do not perform well in one of the TPs, or they get maybe a below standard grade for a lesson, or they get a feedback that is not really satisfactory or full of many comments that they need to cover and address. At this point, I always see this as a positive learning experience. You will never ever learn unless you make mistakes. And you're lucky to make mistakes at this point, because you're going to have this kind of experienced tutor and wonderful colleagues who are going to provide you with good solutions and feedback that will help you to overcome this. Later on, you won't have this chance with those people who can help you with this. So always think about these kinds of downs or disappointing moments as a kind of positive learning experiences, source of knowledge and developing yourself. So don't panic. Make the use of this, because this will help you to pick yourself up later and continue towards achieving your main aim.
You know, Mohammadi, I understand why they are worried or why they feel nervous, because observation in the CELTA course is for the sake of evaluation. At the end of the day, they're going to pass or fail. But if it's for the sake of development, then they're not gonna worry about this. So yes, you're trying to like give them a comfort message. Don't panic, take it easy, learn and move. But they, at the end of the day, they know this is for evaluation purposes. This is not for developmental purposes. So what do you say about this?
This will be answered in my last point about tutors.
Okay.
I prepared this.
Fine.
Okay, good. So we talked about diary. We talked about downs or disappointing moments in the course. Let's move to reflection. Reflection is the most important skill that you may acquire throughout the different stages of the course, of the CELTA course. Reflection is a kind of skill that you're going to develop after each TP, and you're going to have this kind of feedback after you reflect on your own performance with some annotated comments by your tutors on your own reflection, agreeing or disagreeing about some certain points or giving some notes, how to make your reflection more professional or more appropriate or to the point. The point of this is that it helps you to be independent learner and to be your own mentor after the course. Now you have those kind of professional eyes of your tutors who's going to help you, and those colleagues who are going to provide you also with constructive comments. However, after the course, you will miss all of this. So otherwise, you unless this during the course, or you will lose a lot. If you manage just to get out of the ability to be able to reflect on your own performance, to spot your own weaknesses, and to spot and to analyze the stages of your lesson, what went well and what didn't go well, and how can I improve this, to set your own action plans. This will help you a lot with developing your skills again after the end of the course. And this is the most important. Try to make use of the self-evaluation form as a kind of training for yourself to develop your own reflection skills. You will need this a lot after the course is over.
Yeah, of course.
So diary, downs, reflection, colleagues, those wonderful company who are going to share with you blood, sweat, and tears. They were well chosen, were selected during the interviews and the stages of the course. So you are now, make sure that you are now, most of you are in the same level. You are sharing the same competences, you are sharing the same skills, similar in somehow and different in some others. However, you have the same target and you are competing each other to achieve it. And each one is going to show his best in his lessons. And this is the point. Learn from the others. You have just one point of view, but when you have 5 other colleagues in your group, everyone thinks about the same thing in a different manner, you will definitely learn something new from his delivery. Applying the technique. Sometimes you are not able to apply such a technique or a digital tool in your lesson, and you find one of your colleagues is more professional or more competent in using this. It will help you a lot to monitor exactly lively how it works in the lesson. So again, ideas and problems as well that you may have with your colleagues during the course, during the delivery of lessons, noticing problems as well and how it could be solved or anticipated and covered or tackled in your own lessons will help you a lot, because again, it's not only your own lessons, you're going to learn also from the others. Good practices and areas that they need to work on as well. So colleagues are a very important source of knowledge as well to make use of different levels, different backgrounds, different experiences, different abilities and skills, different styles.
Yeah,
and
Mohamed,
this is the point.
They observe each other.
And this is why I say learn from each one of them. They are a rich source. In addition to the input that you receive, in addition to the tutors' comments, in addition to the live sessions, in addition to the units or the CELTA Cambridge online CELTA units, your colleagues themselves are a source of knowledge, getting ideas from your practices.
After each lesson, you have a feedback session with the TP group, and you sometimes ask the other peers like to give feedback to someone about the lesson or something, right? So they attend the lesson, they observe the lesson for 2 main reasons. The first one is to give feedback when requested, and the second reason is to reflect on their own teaching experience.
Excellent. And I want to add something here to make use of as well. Make use of your company to make your own group on WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever social media you are going to share. And before each and every assignment or TP, try to meet them to share ideas about what you're going to do, to get out of some sort of reflection or feedback before you do this. Try to demo what you're going to practice with them. They are going, after TP 1 and 2 and 3, they're going to have this kind of appropriate awareness to reflect on your own performance and give you advice to change something, modify. Sometimes they are not going to like a slide or it's not clear. They will give you a hint to modify before the actual practice. This will help you a lot to improve the quality of your delivery.
Have another eye or someone to double check,
Exactly, fresh eyes. to check your own work. And this is
Yeah.
very important. This is why I say your colleagues in the course are going to be of great benefit to you. Make use of them to make the best use or benefit from the course itself.
Cool. Yeah.
Again, diary, downs, reflection, colleagues, and lastly, tutors.
Mr. Mohamady, some people say tutors are enemies in the course.
Exactly. By the way, this was the first thing. I say tutors are not enemies. Why? Really, I just prepared this.
Yeah. Okay.
Your tutors are not your enemies, and I will tell you why. If you fail the course, they fail as trainers. And I myself, I hate to be a failure. If you pass the course, if you learn something from the course, if you become a professional teacher and learn, or a better teacher compared to your very beginning of the course, this means that I'm a good trainer. Yeah. Your success is part of my success as a trainer, as a CELTA tutor. Sure. And I'm very happy to do this. So I say, your tutors are not your enemy. They are not there to judge your performance, to evaluate. I mean, their part is to evaluate you, but again, it's not just for judgment. It's about helping you, supporting you to become a better teacher. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. Your tutors are the main source of knowledge in the course. Mm-hmm. Why is that? In the feedback that they give to you, this just simple paper with some few lines in, this is a summary of a huge amount of content of units, input sessions, many criteria, long experience. All of this is combined together and tailored to give you an appropriate feedback that fits your needs to develop. Mm-hmm. It's not just kind of TP feedback report. It's something tailored specifically for you to show mm-hmm. progress.
Personalized.
Exactly. And it's also, again, it's tailored under the umbrella of the criteria. It's not something subjective that we come out of our minds. It's something based on the Cambridge criteria and based on the content that you're going to study, but it's phrased simply in points to make it easier for you to grasp. Don't try to argue a lot because you will never win. You can discuss, you can ask for clarification for the purpose of understanding and showing progress and development. This is acceptable.
You know, Mohammadi, I was about to ask you this question because some people ask me, can we, like, if we're not convinced about something, can we just discuss it with the tutor, or they will feel like we're arguing and we are just troublemakers? And
take care of something I said. You are not allowed to argue, and even you try to argue, you will never win, but you have the chance and the opportunity to discuss, to ask for clarification. This is your own right, and I have no problem at all with this.
Perfect.
I always support my feedback with an evidence taken from your own performance. Mm-hmm. Some can say that your feedback is harsh or meticulous, but this is the way I try to prove everything that I'm going to highlight in the feedback session and support it with an evidence from the lesson itself, so you can see why it didn't work, what was the evidence, what was the result out of this performance or this weakness in your lesson, and again with the good points as well, what was the impact on the learner's performance in the tasks as well. So everything is supported by an evidence, and this is the point. This is your right to ask about clarification, and my role is to clarify to you and prove that it's the appropriate practice that you should do. If you notice this, I don't want to talk about this myself, but you can just monitor or to watch my trainees' feedback in previous courses. They will tell you more than enough about this.
Yeah.
So as you can see, 5 main words that I want you to keep in mind: a diary, think about downs as positive experiences for learning; reflection, which is an important skill to come out of the course or to get or acquire from the course; your colleagues, wonderful company in the course; your tutors are not your enemy. They are your supporter to be a professional teacher.
Yeah,
That's it.
cool. Yeah, great. Would you like to? I'm going to look at the questions in the comments if we have any,
Great.
and till I find some questions. Can you give just a couple of tips on what's after the course, what to do after the CELTA? Because some
Sure.
people think that, oh, I'm a CELTA certified, I got the certificate from Cambridge, then I'm the best teacher in the world, and they forget about the fact that CELTA is a pre-service course. It's not, it's an initial course.
CELTA is an initial teaching qualification.
Yeah, it's
An
an initial one.
initial. It's just
Yeah,
the first step on a long
yes,
journey. I myself still learning till now. I'm still learning, really. And the more I observe my colleagues, I feel that I'm still just a junior trainer. I'm a good teacher. Yes, I know that I'm a good teacher. And this is very good to be aware of your abilities as well. However, you have still more and more and more to learn. When you go through this kind of professional development plan that you're going to set for yourself, you find that every time you set a step or a small aim, you're going to find more after it. My advice to you after the CELTA is to never stop. Never stop developing yourselves. For example, keep tracking these kinds of professionals in the field of the EFL or ELT, English language teaching. Like you find a lot of YouTube channels and Cambridge YouTube channel as well, full of good input by Harmer, Scrivener, Scott Thornbury, Stephen Krashen, a lot of great celebrities in the field you can learn from, and even your colleagues, the experienced colleagues as well, who are sharing their thoughts, their ideas in the field as well. Keep tracking and following them and learning from them. Attend conferences, webinars, workshops. I remember that I was crazy sometimes about attending workshops. Once I was in Jubail at some point of my career. I was there for 1 year and 2 months. And in this place, there was no kind of professional development for English teachers. I used to drive from Jubail to Riyadh to attend just a 1.5 hour workshop and then return on the same day.
How many hours driving?
Oh, okay, it was a total of about maybe 5-6 hours.
Oh my goodness! So
just to attend a workshop for 1.5 hours. I remember this, and I also kept tracking. For example, and I had some similar in Dammam, so I used to also, which is near, but I mean, crazy things comes. Crazy things sometimes make you a crazy person. But however, I always try to make you sure that to get something new every time. Sometimes I'm not there just for the contents, but just to observe the one who's going to present, to pick a new idea and a new activity, a new task, a new idea, a new piece of information.
So acquire things yourself as a trainer. Yeah,
it's worth really, because it helped me a lot.
Online made it simple and easy now. You don't have to drive for 5 hours. You just need to like sign in Zoom or something and just enjoy the.
Yes, I agree with you, but I miss really face-to-face interaction.
Of course, we all miss that. Yeah.
When I present something face-to-face, I feel that I don't know how to express it, but I mean, I love it. Being there physically and interacting with my body language with the others. This is my field. I love it. However, also I don't mind online because we need it now, and I try to do my best to make it, to enjoy it, and I enjoy it as well with my trainees, and it's fine. It's fine. So this is number one: keep following celebrities in the field, learning from them, and attending conferences, webinars, and so on. Again, this is on the general aspect. Specifically here, after the CELTA, you need to think also about some sort of professional development regarding, for example, maybe thinking of the Delta, thinking of doing masters, thinking of maybe some other specific courses, special courses in some certain areas, maybe in technology, maybe ICT, something that can add more to your experience. Never stop. But when I say a course, because it will be well structured and it has professional trainers who are responsible for delivering this kind of a specific area that you're going to develop yourself in, and it will be a good addition to your experience as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mohammadi. Yeah, I would like to say review and explore. Review what you've done in the CELTA and explore more things, because in the CELTA course, they just open the door for you and you need to enter, you need to explore. One more thing is to implement what you have learned in the CELTA as much as you can, because CELTA is in the ideal world. So you can just try to
Exactly.
implement as much as you can. Implement how to set up an activity, how to have a successful lead-in activity, how to elicit, how to monitor, how to give effective ICQ instructions, how to ask ICQs, how to ask effective CCQs, how to wrap up the lesson, how to give feedback, how to a lot of things. You need to explore, you need to implement as much as you can. Even if you're teaching young learners, if you're teaching in a university, there are a lot that you can just implement and move forward to a Delta course or something. Thank you so much, Mohammadi. Would you like to say something before we end the meeting?
Well, nothing except for that, my colleagues, it's a long journey, and the ones who keep working hard are the ones who are going to reach the end. And the ones who are going to work harder are going to go further. So keep working hard, show the others your brilliance, be much more lifelong learners, and keep yourself professional and keep your place in the world, because if you stop developing yourself, you'll be moved from the way, from the track. So work harder, and I wish you all the best. Good luck, all of you.
Thank you so much, Mohammadi. I already updated the post, and the link for the material is above the video. And guys, you can also find the hashtag ELT Studio number 17. So ELT Studio, if you would like to watch all the other videos, you can just click the hashtag and you will see, you should be able to see all of them. Thank you so much, Mohammadi, for accepting the invitation and like for this wonderful webinar. We really needed it. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Said.
We can see you like in another webinar very soon.
Let's hope so.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks. Have a wonderful time, my colleagues. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you.